The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us in studio, Mike Glennon, former legendary NC State quarterback, as well as, got to hit legendary, as well as 10-year NFL veteran, joins us weekly here to break down State as well as give us some insight into what it's like from the inside in the NFL. Mike, you have unique perspective on the biggest news for the Carolina Panthers. Jalen Coker goes on the IR, quad injury. He's out for a month. So they go back to a guy they just cut straight off the couch and into the starting lineup. Dave Canales said he's starting. Your former teammate with the was it the Oakland Raiders at the time?
Oakland Raiders.
With the Oakland
Raiders.
Raiders.
Of Oakland.
Hunter Renfrow, Pro Bowler for the Raiders at one point in time. From what you know about him, will he be ready to go straight from the couch in his South Carolina home, watching Bluey with the kids, to this weekend he's going to be in the starting lineup against the Jacksonville Jaguars?
That's what's always funny to me about the NFL, and I get the business side of it, cap, all this different stuff. Special teams often play a big role into who makes the team at the receiver position, but it's like, how does it go from this guy being cut to, you clearly didn't have him in your top 6. How many did they keep?
They kept 7.
They kept 7. So he wasn't in your top 7 receivers to now, due to one injury, he's now starting for you. It's just funny how that works. But I'm sure Hunter
and a trade. There was a pretty high-profile trade.
True. But at that point, why they didn't sign him right after.
Correct.
They got rid of Thielen. So Hunter will be ready. I'm excited for him to kind of take a few years off. Sounds like, sometimes it happens. You go through different circumstances, different coaches, and you kind of fall, you lose the love for the game, but it sounds like he wanted to give it another try. Panthers kind of brought that love back. And if I know one thing about Hunter is he's an unassuming guy. I mean, you see him walking by you on the street, he's probably the most unassuming NFL player there is in the league. He does not look like much, but the guy just finds a way to get open and make plays. So I'm excited for him. I think he'll be someone that's good for Bryce as a guy that can get open on third down when needed. And we'll see kind of what he's got left. I mean, he is older now. Mm-hmm. He's 28, 29?
I can tell you right here. He is 29.
29
in
years
December,
old.
He will turn 30.
That hasn't played in 2+ years. So we'll see what he's got left in the tank. But if he's anything like he was, when he was with the Raiders, he'll be productive for the Panthers.
The question I have, right, because he talked to the media after being brought back on the team, and he gave some insight into the conversation he had with Dave Canales when they cut him. And Canales said something, and I'm paraphrasing, something about like, I think you'll get back, but you're not quite there physically yet. Is his game one where, like, if he used to run a 4.5 and now he's running a 4.62, it impacts it a lot? Because I look at his and that's just, I'm guessing on the numbers, but I'm wondering if, he might be one of those guys, you see it in basketball. Like if you're not dunking a lot and, you have a 19-inch vert when you were a rookie, it's like, all right, he can play till he's 40 because it's not like he depends on his athleticism a ton. Like, can he get out there and be effective even if he's not, the athlete he was at 25?
He's not he's never been a speed guy. So to me, if he's lost a little bit of speed, that's not what his game ever was. He was never a burner where he, think of like Tyreek Hill, who's lived on his speed. If he loses a 10th or 2 off his 40, like that's
takes away some of his special
game. Yeah. Hunter's game is his wiggle and how he just has this kind of nuances in his route running to get open. So as long as he still has that, then it doesn't matter to me if he's slowed down at all. He's just got to find a way, to run his routes. It's an unorthodox way. I can't exactly describe it, but I can visualize it, where he kind of has this forward lean, steps on the guy's toes, and does something with his head, and it works. And I've seen him actually catch a ball where he did show his speed. We were playing against the Chargers when they played in that old LA soccer stadium, and he ran a short route, broke a tackle, and took it like 70 yards. So, again, that's not really his game, but I think he'll find a way to get open.
We're talking with Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, longtime NFL quarterback. One more question about Renfrow. When Thielen was traded away, and obviously, with the restructure and everything, it's pretty obvious that he wanted out. But when he was traded away, one of the most common refrains from Panther fans that I heard was, Now your first 3 wide receivers are a rookie, a second-year undrafted free agent, and a second-year first-round pick, and they kept Bryson Tremaine, another young guy, and they have Jimmy Horn, another rookie. And part of the worry was like Thielen was supposed to lead that group. Renfrow, is he somebody that will welcome in the mentorship of a player like Xavier Legette or Tepper McMillan or whoever's there?
100%. I mean, Hunter's as good of a guy as there is, and he's just super down to earth, super friendly, and he's gonna do whatever he can to help them. Now, how much can he help T-Mac's game?
This is how I get open. Now you're 6'5". Do it like me.
Talk about 2 totally different type of players, but I would imagine like Coker would definitely benefit from being around Hunter. I mean, Hunter was a guy that like basically creating routes. Like he was a guy doing the out, the 5-yard out, then in, then back out, whereas like that would never actually work in a game. And then he does it in a game and it works. So he's creative.
Trayvon Merrick got caught in some one-on-one viral clips against Hunter Renfrow in training camp. And I did a few times go, all right, eventually the quarterback has that's a 6-second route, and he's just over there giving him the 1-2, back in, I'm like, all right, Merrick, like I get why you might be upset with that one. I lied. One more question about Renfrow. You've brought up how unorthodox he is a few times. Will that take an on-ramp for Bryce to get used to the, whatever you said, stepping on toes and head wiggles that other guys don't have?
I would imagine he's seen enough of it in kind of training camp to get a feel for it, but he's going to be your kind of choice route runner, and a lot of times it's like the receiver's in control of this route at this point. It's not up to the quarterback which way you're going to go. You have to have trust in it, and it is getting a feel for it because he might trick you. You might think he's going out when really he's going in because of the way he kind of moves his head and his body. So there may be some of that, but I would imagine Bryce has worked with him enough through training camp to get a feel for his route running.
I can't recall. I feel like I remember your NFL career pretty well. Were you ever in a room that had to scheme up a Bill Belichick defense?
Oh yeah.
When you watched on Monday night, and I assume you did, it was the only game on against TCU. Did it look like the defenses you used to have to scheme up? Did you see the principles or whatever you used to remember?
It's tough sometimes to see when you're just watching the TV coverage, or the TV film where you can't see what everyone's doing. Typically, Belichick is a guy that likes to play a lot of man coverage and then on third down throw some kind of crazy blitzes at you. Whatever they were doing wasn't working, so I imagine it's going to be a little bit of back to the drawing board. I will say he is great at understanding who he's got, what their weaknesses are, but his goal always has been make the opposing quarterback play left-handed. That was always the strategy. Make them feel uncomfortable where you're not just going to give them an easy look. And clearly they did not make the TCU quarterback play left-handed because he was carving them up all day.
Do you have any familiarity with the Freddie Kitchens offense?
I am very familiar with the Freddie Kitchens offense. He took over as an interim OC when I was with the Giants.
So he's obviously the offensive coordinator. Did that bring back feelings of remembrance?
It did feel like they stuck with the run game a little bit too long. I'm all for establishing the run, but at some point it's like we got to throw the ball around, and you cannot go over 2 hours of real life without completing a pass. Find the guy a completion somehow, some way, get him going, and when we're down by 21 plus points, I'm not saying we have to completely abandon the run, but we got to become a pass offense first.
We're talking with Mike Glennon, longtime NFL quarterback, and obviously prior to that, started at NC State. If you want his insight into NC State football, a breakdown in depth of State's win over ECU last week, and obviously a preview for Virginia this week, we co-host the Pack Therapy podcast. It can be found everywhere podcasts can be found, including our 99.9 The Fan YouTube. So we encourage you to go ahead and check that out to get as much insight into State as you possibly can. But as we often do when we have these little NFL chats on the drive, I do want to sneak in one NC State question at the end, and it's usually the same format. State is favored by 2.5 against Virginia this weekend at home, Saturday game. Fill out the if-then. If blank happens, then NC State will cover the 2.5 and win by at least a field goal.
If NC State can establish the run and really coming from the offensive line. It can't all come from Hollywood Smothers. If NC State can establish a run, they'll win this game.
And again, this is kind of a preview of the Pack Therapy episode this week, but you bring that up because it's something that concerned you.
Yeah,
from the
last
game.
week the offensive line just point blank wasn't good enough in the run game. They weren't creating enough holes. ECU's defensive line was driving us backwards, and quite frankly, Hollywood Smothers was making chicken salad out of chicken poop at times, and that's just not going to cut it against an ACC opponent. So they're going to have to do a better job getting Hollywood Smothers going, creating some holes so he can get to full speed and do what he does best, which is run by people.
And you know what I love about this conversation, Mike? You said something and you backed it up immediately. You said I'm all for establishing the run when talking about the Freddie Kitchens offense, and then you doubled back with they couldn't run the ball, they have to establish the run, rather than saying what I think a lot of quarterbacks would want to say, which is if the offensive line ain't opening up the holes, let C.J. Bailey cook. Teddy Hoffman, Wesley Grimes, Noah Rogers, let it fly. No, he's still focusing on the run, everybody. Mike, we appreciate you as always.
Thanks, Tim.